It's Monday, January 6th. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. A Jamaica Public Service JPS power problem was blamed for disruptions to water supply across several communities over the weekend. On Sunday, the National Water Commission advised that power outages caused disruption to their operations at the Rock Hall pumping station in St. Andrew, resulting in a number of communities being without water. The NWC says that regular water supply will be restored to customers as soon as the power issue is corrected by the JPS. Affected areas are Cooper's Hill, Rock Hall, part of Red Hills, Topper Hill, Mount Atlas, Belvedere Drive, War Hill, Carr Hill, Fraser Crescent, Woodland, Woodland Circle, and Walker's Hill. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett has outlined the reasons for the 25% reduction in cruise visitors to the island in 2019. Those reasons, he said, include partial effects from the historically devastating 2017 hurricane season agreements reached between the previous government and the cruise lines, as well as the failure of Western Caribbean countries to re-establish an itinerary to link the mega cruise vessels with ports in Jamaica, Haiti, and the Cayman Islands. Even so, he maintained, with last year's tourism earnings exceeding that of 2018 by approximately $500 million, there is no need to panic over the decline. Jamaica earned US $3.8 billion from tourism in 2019. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says that part of the Secure Jamaica initiative would see a further push to modernize and transform the Jamaica Constabulary Force. He gave a breakdown during a national address last week.
This fiscal year will see the largest allocation of $5.28 billion to equip the police force with cutting-edge technology to enhance their ability to detect, record, respond, and prevent crimes. This year, the JCF will receive the first set of purpose-built police cars fitted with tracking devices and onboard computers.
On a social media post on Saturday, along with images, Mr. Holness shared that the JCF has begun the process of outfitting the patrol cars with tablets, GPS tracking. The Prime Minister said it's hoped that these fit-for-purpose motor vehicles will better equip the JCF to make the nation safer. There is a call for greater collaboration between the government and civil society, and it comes from the Council of Voluntary Social Services. The group is calling on the government to fully engage with civil society and the voluntary sector who work to support the development of their communities, especially in the current high-crime environment. CVSS Chair Safri Brown, in a recent statement, said the government of Jamaica should work more closely with civil society as an equal partner in development, given that social intervention programs were mostly carried out by these bodies. Brown argues that the civil society sector could be supported in the areas of monitoring and evaluation and policy work, areas that the CVSS will be focusing on during the coming year. The CVSS, founded in 1940, is the longest-serving and largest voluntary sector umbrella for non-governmental organizations in Jamaica. The Bank of England is currently studying the Bank of Jamaica's videos of reggae stars singing about inflation targets. A working paper co-authored by chief economist Andy Haldane, published Friday, found that engaging with broader audiences through simplified communication may alone be necessary but not sufficient. Instead, the economist said that complementary efforts in engagement and education are required. The BOJ's use of a series of videos to communicate inflation targeting has gotten international attention. Speaking last October at the International Monetary Fund IMF annual meeting in Washington, D.C., new IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva highlights Jamaica's successes and approaches in her address.
I'm pleased to see that the staff of the IMF is very attentive to how we can support our members in their pursuit of good, sound economic policies. I want to give one example. Jamaica. We had 2 IMF support programs. They have delivered tangible results, a reduction in public debt by 50% of GDP, historically low unemployment, inflation stability. And I also want to congratulate the government of Jamaica for being very creative on how it would bring society on board using reggae music to communicate the benefits of low inflation. Sing and dance your way through trouble.
The BOE report said, quote, success should not be measured by the ability to reach everyone, but rather by engaging even limited audiences beyond the current small core of technical specialists and information intermediaries, end quote. The growing trend among Jamaicans to use electronic payment is being purported by the Bank of Jamaica as a factor for the amount of currency in circulation during December falling below its projection. The BOJ had projected for currency circulation during the busiest shopping month of the year to grow by 17.2% or $22.4 billion. However, the central bank said it was below the projected amount. It said the amount of currency in circulation for the month only grew by 14.5% or $18.9 billion. The central bank cited increasing use of credit and debit cards among Jamaicans, which is growing at a faster rate than currency use. It said its own analysis has pointed to annual average growth in the use of electronic payments of about 24% for December for the past 5 years, 2014 to 2018, which is higher than the average growth in currency of about 14%. The US dollar on Friday, January 3, ended trading at Jamaican $133.97, up by 86 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily exchange trading summary. The Canadian dollar ended trading at Jamaican $104.58, up from $100.14, while the British pound sterling ended trading at $172.77, down from $174.73. In regional news, Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido was violently blocked on Sunday from presiding over a special session of Congress, where rivals tried to install a substitute in what was condemned as a hijacking of the country's last democratic institution. Guaido led a small group of lawmakers trying to access the neoclassical palace where the opposition-controlled National Assembly was set to elect its leader for the final year of its 2015-2020 period, when they were pushed back by National Guardsmen wielding heavy riot shields. As scuffles broke out, the US-backed leader tried to mount an iron fence surrounding the legislature, only to be repelled again. Guaido declared presidential powers over Venezuela on January 23, 2019, saying President Nicolas Maduro's re-election was illegitimate because of the most popular opposition parties and political leaders who had been disqualified from running. Venezuela sits atop a vast oil and mineral resource, but it has been imploding economically and socially in recent years. Maduro, who took over after the 2013 death of former President Hugo Chavez, says Guaido is a puppet of the United States. Maduro also says he's determined to win control of the National Assembly in elections later this year. And over in Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad Ministry of National Security says that it will be implementing a ban on glass bottles during the upcoming Carnival season. During a recent meeting, officials from the ministry said talks surrounding the proposed ban progressed positively in discussions with key Carnival stakeholders. The meeting focused on a flexible enforcement approach as well as implementation considerations. The ban on glass bottles is expected to take effect from 4 a.m. on Carnival Monday, February 24 to 12 midnight on Carnival Tuesday, February 25. The National Security Ministry added that a public education drive on the collaborative initiative entitled Clean Scene, Safe Scene will be launched in the coming days. In sports, it's all about cricket. Guaido's Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, has praised the attitudinal change of the new Ricky Skerritt-led Cricket West Indies administration and says it is a, quote, fundamental, end quote, departure from the arrogance which marked the previous Dave Cameron leadership. While conceding there, quote, may have been mistakes made, end quote, early in Skerritt's tenure, Mitchell said that the new willingness to engage with stakeholders and the commitment to inclusiveness means critical building blocks are being put in place for the future success of West Indies cricket. Mitchell was speaking during an interview on a popular radio cricket show Mason and Guest in Bridgetown, Barbados earlier this week. Last March, however, Skerritt defeated three-term incumbent Cameron in CWI election stage in Jamaica, promising to restore dialogue with stakeholders and transparency in decision-making. In other sporting news, coach Floyd Reifer has praised the all-round skills and thought processes of the Cricket West Indies presidents following their clinical performance against Ireland in the warm-up match on Saturday. The West Indies reserves easily chased down 276 to beat the visitors by 3 wickets with 20 balls to spare on a surface that presented no demons at 3W's Oval, UWE Cave Hill campus. In a post-match interview, Reifer said, quote, we demonstrated very good skills and the thought processes in both innings showed that we knew what we were about. So the results were as good reward for the effort, end quote. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thank you so much for watching.